Baby, we're recording. So, welcome to the first episode. My name is Robert, and in a nutshell, I'm a creative soul stuck in a semi-monogamous relationship with a 9-to-5 job. I was a straight A student all through high school, joined the Navy when I was 18, and they trained me in the magical arts of electronics. After 12 years or so, I got out and moved back to the civilian world and met this wonderful woman here. Needless to say, 10 years later or so, I'm still doing the same job day in and day out because one, I'm good at it, and two, it pays the bills. So sitting next to me is the beautiful and amazing Andrea Myrick, who I'm proud to call my wife. She's a super mom, a retired nurse, fashion model, designer, movie star now. The list goes on. Today is a little nerve-wracking for us. It's our first episode doing this.
Yes.
And, I mean, being that it is our first episode, you know, we got a lot of history, a lot of stories, a lot of things in the past that everybody likes to hear all the time. So say we just start from the beginning and talk about how we first met, as embarrassing as that is.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
So do you want to kick that off?
You can kick it off.
All right, so while I was in the Navy in San Diego, I was stationed in San Diego, I was prospecting for a motorcycle club. And it was a great time. I enjoyed the hell out of it, but an emergency brought me back home. I was already getting out of the military. I was on terminal leave. I was just kind of hanging out, biding my time in San Diego when I got the news. So I loaded up everything in my truck, and what I couldn't bring, I left behind, and I hit the road and came back home. A couple of weeks after I got home, things kind of normaled out. I ended up finding a job. I got, some employment going on. And the club from San Diego messaged me and said, hey, we got a chapter over in Pensacola if you want to go, finish your prospecting and become part of the club with them. And Pensacola was only, we live here now, but it was only about 2.5 hours away, 3 hours away from where I was living. So, why not? I load up the motorcycle and hit the road. Needless to say, my first day was not as great as I wanted it to be. I normally wear contacts. You guys see I'm wearing glasses now, but at the time I was wearing contacts pretty regularly. Glasses were, I don't even think I had a good pair of glasses at the time. So my contacts were giving me hell the morning I was supposed to drive over. And giving me hell. They were burning something serious. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if disinfectant got mixed in with saline or what. So I took them out, put them in a case, threw my glasses on, and loaded up the motorcycle in the back of the truck because at the time I couldn't ride with my glasses on. So I figured when I got over here, hopefully the contacts would be cleaned out enough and I'd be able to use them. And that wasn't the case. I got over here, met up with everybody, decided to go ahead and try to throw my contacts in, and my contacts went in, but they were burning and caused me a lot of problems. And that was the first time I met the whole club, and little Miss Thing right here was in the building, and she was talking shit.
I was like, who is this? Who's this guy? I'm like, he's blind in one eye, can't see out the other. What is wrong with him? I'm like, where'd you find him? And then he wasn't there when I said it. He was in the bathroom. And
trying to straighten out my contacts.
All the guys started laughing. I was like, I don't even understand this. So then he came out of the bathroom, and they was like, Diva, this is Rob. They go, Rob he was in a chapter prospecting chapter in San Diego, so he's coming to prospect for us. And I was like, okay, whatever. Being that I was the only female in the group at this point, the only female writer in this club. And I was like, okay, whatever.
You're lucky there wasn't another one there trying to snatch me up.
Oh. There was plenty other in other crews, so. But, yeah. And so, and I think we went out. We were supposed to go riding, but you couldn't ride.
Yeah, we were supposed to ride that day, but yeah, I couldn't. So I think I just followed you guys in the truck. I had the motorcycle in the back of the truck just in case things worked out, but it didn't. So I just hung out and rode and followed behind in the truck. So
yeah,
so that worked out.
That was the first encounter.
And this was, my stays in Pensacola were over the weekend. I normally stayed with Biggs or somebody. He was the president of the chapter at the time. And I'd normally stay with them or whatever. So, like, the next day, I was able to unload and I was able to ride and hang out with the crew and everything. So it worked out okay. And that was pretty normal routine for weeks. Just about every weekend or so, I would come over. It was it maybe like the third or fourth weekend I came over when they asked you when they?
I think it was the fourth weekend.
Fourth, okay.
When, I was asked to entertain Torch, because that's what they started calling him, Torch.
That's another story we'll get into later.
If I could entertain him, and I said, "What I look like? I don't entertain anybody. I'm not entertaining nothing. What I look like, a stripper? I'm not entertaining nothing." And then he was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. You took it all the way to the left. I wasn't talking about that entertaining. I was talking about just hang out with him till everybody got off and we got together." I was like, "Oh, then you should have said that." Because, yeah. And so we met up and he was like, "You want to go to lunch?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so we went to lunch.
You hopped on Big Booty Judy.
I hopped on my pink trike.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we went to, it was Floribama's restaurant is where we went.
Yeah. What's the name of that restaurant? But yeah. We went there and we had lunch and we talked and
you fell in love.
And got to know each other and everything. And I found out, he's not so bad. He's all right. And then when we left there, we went to get back on our motorcycle. Somebody was trying to take pictures on my motorcycle.
Yeah, that pretty much happened everywhere we went with the Big Booty Judy. Everybody was trying to take pictures of it. You'd walk out of the restaurant, and somebody would be out there on that motorcycle. It'd piss you off sometimes.
Yes. And then we got on, rode around something. Then we met up with the group later on, and
things didn't really kick off between, like, no. I mean, that was kind of the initial, connection there, but nothing really ever came of it. I was in a bad place at the time, and I was not looking for anything, and I was dead set against any kind of relationship. I really was. I was married to my motorcycle, and that was going to be my life, and I had just got out of a bad divorce, and that's a whole nother story. But things didn't really kick off till you decided to come over to my neck of the woods.
No, you living a whole lot out. So my dad had got sick, and I had to go to California because that's where he was living at the time, and I'm his only child. So he had to have open heart surgery. So while I was going there, or while I was there, I talked to him like every day. Like, he was checking on me and saying how's everything's going on and this and that. And so we would talk at night, and we was talking a lot. And then we had said that when I got back, that I said I would come up there to visit him when I got back sometime. He was like, "Okay, we'll see."
Again, I didn't think much of it. I figured it was just, whatever, because I lived in a real off the map kind of place. It was way out in the middle of the woods, and there just wasn't a whole lot there to come and see. So I didn't really expect her to come, but she did. She hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come see you this weekend." Yeah, and she did.
I came up there. I drove. I came up there. First off, He didn't tell his parents that I was coming.
So this brings us into a whole new conversation. Where I grew up at, I don't want to call it racist, but it's segregated. It really is, and there are a lot of racist sentiments in the area. It's not all bad like that. I don't want to give the place a bad name because it's really an amazing place. But when you grow up like I did, you know, white and black don't mix. You don't date out of your race kind of deal. And we never, you know, I didn't think anything of it growing up. I didn't know any better. That's all I knew. It wasn't, you know, it's just how things were, and I didn't question it. Now, getting into the Navy and getting out to the rest of the world, that changed my view on a lot of things, and I come to realize that it's really a really backwards way of thinking. But like I said, nobody there knows any different because that's just small town. They're 50 years behind the rest of the world, and they just don't know any better. But they're changing a lot. But anyways, yeah, they didn't know that she was of the opposite race persuasion here.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I mean, she didn't get a bad reception or anything.
This until we got the boat. We went on the boat to go on the river, lake,
right,
whatever the hell it is.
It was an intercoastal waterway.
Okay. Well, we got on the boat to go on there. And we're on the boat, and every time we was passing people that was out there fishing or whatever, I would get this. Turn around looking, staring at us.
I just played ignorant.
And I was like,
how's it going?
And he's like, hey,
You know,
how's it going? And stuff. I'm like, why is everybody staring at us? Like, and then he was like, we still rode down and we had a couple of beers and stuff. And he was like, well, and then he told me about the railroad tracks separating the blacks and the whites. And he lived in White City. On the other side of the railroad tracks, there was all the black people. And I'm like, so now that's why they looking at me. Are you kidding me? Now you want to just tell me this?
You in the boat with the white folk.
Yes. Then I was like, He said, but, and then still I didn't know that he didn't tell his parents that I was coming. At that point,
when she got there,
my
mom was gone. I think my dad was taking a nap. He was laying in the bed. So we grabbed the boat and went for a little boat ride. And when we got back, they got to meet her, you know, and she got a very warm reception. There's no issues with my parents on that side of this. Just
I love my mother-in-law to death. I love her. She's as if she's my own mother. Like, I love her. And you know, my father-in-law is great too. He's funny. He's funny.
Yeah.
But hell, he's as dark as me. So.
But he's white.
But he has blue eyes.
Mm-hmm. He's a white guy. He's just got really dark complexion, and there is some question as to heritage in the family, and you know, kind of where his dad's side of the family stems from. They don't really know.
Well, he walked me down the aisle when we got married, and everybody thought he was my father.
Yes, yes.
Your father, you look so good. I said, that's Rob's father.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Like,
That was a good time, though.
It was.
Anyway,
we kind of like brought the whole town together.
Yeah, different story, different episode. Back to all right, so we went for the boat ride. You came back to meet my parents and everything. Was that the same weekend for the wake?
Yes.
Okay. So my cousin's husband's family were having a wake in Apalachicola. And this isn't, someone passed away, but this is a party in their memory kind of deal. And it was a party. And we went over and was having a good time. She was accepted as family over there because that was kind of, that neighborhood was kind of...
But you should back up. His cousin is white. Her husband is black.
Yes.
So it was the black...
to add that in.
Her husband's side of the family that was having a party in the wake.
Yeah.
Then now you can go.
Yeah. She was literally like walked in and they thought she was somebody's cousin from somewhere or whatever. They, for some reason she looked awfully familiar to everybody. But we went in. There was food and drinks and a good time all over the place. They even opened up
It's like
it was a bar. Yeah, it was a bar. They just opened it up for us. And pool tables, darts, music.
DJ.
I mean, it was a good time. And at that point, my sister was introducing her as Rob's girlfriend. And honestly, I didn't even. That's not what it is. She was just visiting and hanging out. And I guess I realized at that point that she was my girlfriend. And I told her, I guess you're my girlfriend now. It was a very, very good night. A very good night. It ended well. We played some pool and had some dances and went back to my parents' house. Spent the night there, and then I think you went home the following day.
That morning, because I had to go to work.
That morning, that's right. Yeah.
I had to drive all the way and rush to get to work.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. That was before she was retired as a nurse.
Yeah. And I know his mom was like, she didn't run off. Why'd she run off?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
So the club life kept going for a while. We had some really, really interesting stories to tell from. I don't know if we'll tell those stories. There's some of those that may not be for YouTube. I don't know. We'll see. We might get into that.
Motorcycle club.
Yeah. Yeah. But our marriage developed from there.
We dated for a little while. Yeah, we dated that because I want to say, was that like happened in because it was the summertime, wasn't it?
So I came home from the Navy April, May, June of 2014.
Yeah, so it was the summertime.
Yeah, June of 2014. And we dated for about a year. Once we actually officially started dating, because we were just, acquaintances or whatever for a couple of months before it actually developed. So, yeah, and then about a year, so 2014 we started dating. We dated a little more than a year.
Yeah.
And we got married 2016, wasn't it? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that's where we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna cut this one short for the day, and we got a lot of area covered and a lot of things to branch out to in the next couple of episodes. So until then, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.